So we'll start tonight by chanting the four great Bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. So we'll begin with our customary 15 minutes of seated meditation. We chant the Gatha on opening the Sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. So, pull up a chair, relax, put your feet up. For tonight, I will be the one that's giving the talk. This is what I heard. Guy wakes up in the morning, gets dressed, goes out and has breakfast, comes back, cleans up a little bit, and then goes to work. Sound familiar? We pretty much do it virtually 250 or so days per year if you work in America with your big 2 weeks of vacation every year. What could be more mundane? What could be more regular? What could be so seemingly inconsequential? And getting up, getting dressed, having breakfast, washing up, and then going to work. Doesn't sound like anything. However, we need to figure out what our true job is. Sure, it's easy to go out and, do whatever your employment is and get a paycheck at the end of the week, and then you have a roof over your head and food on the table and so on and so forth. But that's rather micro as opposed to macro. The Diamond Sutra talks about a lot of things in terms of the two truths: absolute truth, relative truth. Relative truth is that, I wake up in the morning, I have breakfast, and I do whatever it is my job is that pays me a salary at the end of the week. Same thing with you. You don't go to my place of employment, and I don't go to yours, and it works out much better for everyone. The thing is, the absolute truth, in terms of what the Diamond Sutra teaches us, is about the emptiness of those concepts. Reifying job, reifying car, reifying money, whatever. That's all in the relative. That's not necessarily the absolute truth, though. And sometimes we give short shrift to the absolute because there are too many arguments that can be presented. Of course it's my job. Of course it's my car. Of course it's my wife. Sounds like a Talking Heads song should be playing in the background now, but we'll let that slide. The absolute truth is basically that unity of all things. Yeah, there are things that we do great, that's convenient. that's relative. In the absolute, the you that goes to your job and the I that goes to my job, no dividing line, right? And when you hear things like, we are the world, or make me one with everything, or some of those other statements that deal with the absolute, a lot of times they can sound kind of like Zen greeting card, new agey woo, and here in the US in 2022, it seems like we kind of want to shy away from that a little bit. It's almost like it's a little embarrassing. It's I can't talk about that without saying, but it's okay because I'm me and you're you. And when you get down to it, yes, in the relative, conveniently, that's true. But the lack of that division between all sentient beings is also true. And the thing about the absolute truth and the relative truth is that the relative only manifests itself through the absolute, and the absolute only manifests through the relative. They're not even two sides of one coin, because that would imply that there are sides, and there aren't any. Diamond Sutra says things like, all beings are no beings, thus are they called beings. That's the absolute and the relative right there. There's beings, relative. No beings, absolute. Thus are they called beings is what Zen Master Sung San might say is 360 degrees on the compass of Zen, where form is form and emptiness is emptiness, and a being is just called a being. But what is it that these beings are supposed to do? These no beings, what are they supposed to do in terms of their job, the big cosmic job? Let me read you a wee bit of the Diamond Sutra here. Furthermore, Subhuti, in the practice of compassion and charity, a disciple should be detached. That is to say, he should practice compassion and charity without regard to appearances, without regard to form, without regard to sound, smell, taste, touch, or any quality of any kind. Subhuti, this is how the disciple should practice compassion and charity. Why? Because practicing compassion and charity without attachment is the way to reaching the highest perfect wisdom. It is the way of becoming a living Buddha. Subhuti, do you think that you can measure all the space in the eastern heavens? No, most honored one. One cannot possibly measure all the space in the eastern heavens. Subhuti, can space in all the western, southern, northern, above, and below be measured? No, most honored one. One cannot possibly measure all the space in the western, southern, and northern heavens. Well, Subhuti, the same is true of the merit of the disciple who practices compassion and charity without any attachment to appearances, without cherishing any idea of form. It is impossible to measure the merit they will accrue. Subhuti, my disciples should let their minds absorb and dwell in the teachings I have just given. So now we're getting closer to that. So what is my job? What's my job description even? What is it I'm supposed to be doing here? And even though at one point the Buddha goes into how anyone who calls himself a bodhisattva is no bodhisattva. Anyone who thinks they're saving all beings is not saving all beings. That there are beings, there are no beings, and thus are they called beings. All of these seemingly paradoxical, maybe even contradictory points meshing together. When you get down to the thus are they called aspect, our true job as bodhisattvas is to save all beings, to help all beings. That's it. That's the gig. That's the job description. You know, clock in the morning, save all beings. Take your lunch break for the sake of all beings. Work in the afternoon for the sake of all beings. Without saying anything about, hey, look at me, I'm saving all beings. Ain't I great? Just as Emperor Wu pointing out how much merit he must have had accrued by building all those temples and supporting all those monks, when he asked Bodhidharma about it, whatever was on his spreadsheet was zeroed out. The clear button was hit, as it were, as has been said recently. So as soon as we think we're bodhisattvas, we're not bodhisattvas. As soon as we think we're saving all beings, we're no longer saving all beings. As soon as we think we're accumulating merit, there is no merit. That's quite a lot to swallow. However, it's only quite a lot to swallow if you think it needs to be swallowed. Why make anything? Why make saving all beings a thing? Why make merit a thing? They're all just concepts, they're all just words, they're all created by thinking. More from the Diamond Sutra. The Buddha continued, Subhuti, if anyone gave to the Buddha an immeasurable quantity of the 7 treasures sufficient to fill the whole universe, and if another person, whether a man or a woman, in seeking to attain complete enlightenment, were to earnestly and faithfully observe and study even a single section of this sutra and explain it to others, the accumulated blessing and merit of the latter person would be far greater. Subhuti, how can one explain the sutra to others without holding in mind any arbitrary conception of forms or phenomena or spiritual truths? It can only be done, Subhuti, by keeping the mind in perfect tranquility and free from any attachment to appearances. So I say to you, this is how you should contemplate our conditioned existence in this fleeting world. Like a tiny drop of dew or bubble floating in a stream, like a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, an illusion, a phantom, or a dream, so is all conditioned existence to be seen. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying in the Jeta Grove near the city of Shravasti. With him, there was a community of 1,250 venerable monks and devoted disciples. One day before dawn, the Buddha clothed himself and, along with his disciples, took up his alms bowl and entered the city to beg for food door to door, as was his custom. After he returned and eaten, he put away his bowl and cloak, bathed his feet, and then sat with his legs crossed and body upright upon the seat arranged for him. He began mindfully fixing his attention in front of himself, while many monks approached the Buddha and, showing great reverence, seated themselves around him. The Buddha can get up in the morning, put on some clothes, have his breakfast, clean up afterwards, and go to his job, the job of saving all beings. So clock in. All right, another 15 minutes of seated meditation. chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is safe from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, all dharma's work is emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Do our personal dedications of merit. As always, I'll leave a space for anyone who wants to add anyone to the list. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone, those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially would like to dedicate our service to Win Bruce, Deminda Prera, Barry, Maureen, Joanne Sheridan, Brianna Bailey Sheridan, Mrs. Guy. Anyone you'd like to add? Okay.
Miawi.
Say that again?
Miawi.
Okay.
Mr. Miawi.
Okay. All beings in 10 directions, subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by, and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature, and do not squander your time by night or day. And thank you for joining us. Those on Zoom are more than welcome to stay for